On June 10th, EA held the first press conference of E3 2017 with EA Play. They doubled down on the boring sports games, but delivered on a few surprises and solid franchises. Hey guys, JV here sharing my recap of EA's press conference this year. As always, if you like what I do here and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. They set the stage by announcing they would show off 8 games on stage at their press conference this year, 2 of which would be new IPs, and those are some of the most exciting and surprising ones, obviously. We got what we should expect from EA at EA Play, and that's a lot of sports, and this time it was really peppered in between a lot of things that I would say more people that are watching are concerned about. It's definitely fair to say that these sports games are geared towards more casual audiences, but as always, it was a big focus. They began with Madden NFL 18, which features a brand new story mode called Long Play. And if you remember what they did with FIFA last year with what they called the Journey, this is a similar mode. You hop into the role of a character that is fully acted in motion capture and in voice, and you play as them. You follow their career, it looks like from high school into college and then into professional football. As someone who loves watching the NFL and also loves playing video games, this was not something that caught my attention. It just looked really cheesy, and it's very clear which direction EA is heading in with all of these sports games. They're injecting story into these games big time. Every single mainline game has a mode like this, and we'll talk more about that. Next, they focused their attention on Battlefield 1, a game that came out last year, obviously, and was a big thing at the show at E3 2016. So they began with a fun montage of YouTubers and streamers playing Battlefield 1, just to show how fun the game is. It is genuinely fun. And then they go on to announce that night maps would be coming to the game this summer as free DLC. So that's something that we can look forward to very soon. And then they go on to announce In the Name of the Tsar, which is the Russian army DLC for Battlefield 1. And it includes 6 new maps, new weapons, new vehicles, and females. Yes, seriously, that is a feature, and you can certainly expect it in September. That is when In the Name of the Tsar is going to release, and they're going to show off more at Gamescom in Germany in August. So that's obviously going to be a lot closer to the release, so we can expect full gameplay, more fully fleshed out reveal at that event. Next, they showed a montage of esports competitions coming to sports games. Again, not something I'm super interested in, but it happened. And then they rolled into FIFA 18 with one of the strangest bits I've seen on one of these press conferences in the last few years. They had these 2 British guys, and I think they did this last year or something. They're like the mock commentators, but they pretend like the story in FIFA 18 is real. Then they had a whole montage of real players and football managers and all these people pretending like their, fake person is real. And so then they announced that Alex Hunter, who was the fake real person in the Journey mode in FIFA 17, is returning in FIFA 18, and his whole conflict is if he's going to change football clubs or not. Now, he didn't play FIFA 17 at all, not 1 second, so I can't really give you analysis on this, but they again are doubling down on their story modes in sports games. Next, they showed their newest racing game, Need for Speed Payback, and this game has heist missions, cop chases, car battles, and what they call an action driving fantasy. And in the story mode, you play as 3 different characters: Tyler, Jess, and Mac. And we're going to have a diverse open world, which looks like it's placed at least in part in a deserty area. That's where the first gameplay shown off, shows. And then there's a lot of customization in this game, and that's something that I really have felt has lacked in the recent Need for Speed games. And of course, everyone could be nostalgic about Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Underground 2, and how fun those experiences were. But if I'm being honest, this doesn't look like it's going back towards that. There may be a good amount of customization, but they are putting so much emphasis on story, like Madden and FIFA. It's hard for me to grasp why they try to put story in a game like this. Maybe you can look at the Fast and Furious movie franchise and think, oh my gosh, obviously they're going after that because of how wildly popular that is, how much money they made with those movies, but I just don't feel that they're going to capture that in this game. The thing that those movies have in their back pocket is these huge actors that will, force people to go and see the movie. We're getting characters that we've never even heard of before, that we're probably not going to be able to connect with because this is a racing game. It's not like a movie. We don't have these other areas of the game where we're able to, learn more about these characters and really connect with them. It's just kind of puzzling to me. I don't think that Need for Speed Payback has what it needs to get Need for Speed back where it was. Now, that is a bold statement. I haven't played the game. I don't know more than you guys do from public information. However, this is just from what's been shown, and so far it's not been impressive to me. Now, what was impressive to me was an EA Originals game from the developer behind Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was an indie hit several years ago. This is a brand new game that came out of nowhere. It's being called a co-op adventure. It's about two guys who escape prison and the cops, and there's this whole story behind it. Now, the really unique spin here is that this game is designed for split-screen co-op play only. You can play with someone online. You don't need someone next to you, but it's specifically designed for that experience. And the reason you know that is that no matter what, you're going to see your screen is split in half. You'll see the perspective of Leo and Vincent, the two main characters, and again, the game must be played with another person. Now, I can't confirm this, but from the way that the developer phrased it, who came on stage and shared the game, it must be played with another person. I don't know if that means there's no AI and you literally have to matchmake online with another person to play, but that's what they made it sound like, and that sounds restrictive to some people, I understand, but it sounds like a really awesome and novel concept to me. They went on to explain there are several different ways to approach every single scenario, and everything is unique to that specific cutscene or place that you're in, and so there's not going to be kind of recycled gameplay here. You're gonna have to tackle and approach situations in different ways, and again, it's a game about escaping the prison, escaping the cops, and you're clearly some kind of villain with this other person as well. One of the really unique scenarios they showed off is one of the guys was just entering the prison while the other one was watching him from above because he's already been there, and so one of the players has a cutscene and they're watching what's going on with their guy while the other one is actually moving around and affecting the events of that cutscene. So that sounds really awesome to me, really unique. This was just a game that breathed fresh air into the EA Play press conference, because up to this point it was like Battlefield 1, kind of cool, but everything else was eh. A Way Out is coming in early 2018, and it's just so unique. It's such a fresh looking game that I'm very interested to see more of it. Next is BioWare's new IP called Anthem, and I literally squealed when the guy was introducing it before they actually showed off the gameplay. And so it's just a teaser right now. We know very little at the time I'm recording this video. More will be revealed tomorrow at Xbox's press conference, but we know a few things. There is a wall that protects people. There is some kind of monster alien looking thing, perhaps dinosaur, so those are in the game. And then there's a lot of talk about living with choices or die trying when you're outside of the wall. And so the game is called Anthem. It is being developed by BioWare. This is their secret Project Dylan, headed by Casey Hudson, former executive producer of the Mass Effect original trilogy. But it's being made at their Edmonton studio, not the same studio that made Mass Effect Andromeda. So another observation is that there looks like there's mech suits there. So from what we've seen so far, I'm getting a cross between 3 games in terms of the vibe so far. It's Destiny, it's Ark, and it's also Titanfall because of those mech suits. So, or maybe they're not mech suits, they're more like exosuits, that's what I meant. So anyways, this looks interesting. We'll see more tomorrow at the Xbox press conference. And then faster than you could literally blink your eye, they switched over to NBA Live 18 with some exceedingly boring over-the-shoulder gameplay and some nice, Kendrick montages going on. But I mean, the animations did not look as smooth as they should be. Nothing that was more impressive than previous NBA 2K games that we've seen in the last few years. There's a demo coming in August. There's a story mode like all these other EA games like FIFA and Madden, Need for Speed even. As someone who played NBA Live as a kid, nothing bored me more than watching this again. And I'm not sure if, my current experiences over the past few years, I haven't played a lot of sports games. I'm not sure I would even get back into NBA Live, even if it looked like the greatest thing ever. But this is one of the worst reveals and showings of a game at a press conference I've seen in a long time. It was that bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could hear people in the audience shuddering like, oh my God, what are they doing right now? And finally, EA dedicated at least 30 minutes to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and there was a lot of information shared in this. What I'm about to tell you is definitely not all of it, so these are just my notes and what I shared on Twitter while watching. So the game bridges the gap between the Return of the Jedi and the Force Awakens movies, so it does tie into the movies, obviously. They have skirmish mode returning with split-screen co-op available. I know a lot of people wanted to do that because that's how they played old-school Battlefront, so that'll be cool. Of course, we'll have space battles battles. Don't know why they were in the first game. There's a class system with special abilities, and you can customize those abilities and map them to different buttons, I guess, based on your platform. And the classes that are in the game are the Heavy, Assault, Specialist, and Officer. We got a little bit of details about some of those, so I'll share those as we get to them. We also have battle points in game. So as you do certain actions, you will earn battle points in each match, and that will allow you to buy different characters and heroes, vehicles, all kinds of stuff to help your team. Also, they announced that Finn and Captain Phasma will be added as free content coming after the launch of the game, and there will be no season pass. All content that's added after launch will be free. Now that means you could probably expect there's going to be microtransactions in some form or fashion to fund all of that free content, so we'll have to see what that turns out being. Next, they went on to shoutcast an entire match of Assault on Theed. So an entire gameplay match, unedited. There were a bunch of YouTubers and streamers there playing, and a few, shoutcaster streamer people talking about it, and one of the developers as well. A lot of details were shown off in this portion, so I'm just gonna rapid fire shoot them right at you. So there are multiple phases in each match. It's not just one objective or one thing you're doing every single time. And so within this gameplay, the first phase was this real open air area where there's a lot of vehicles and ships flying in the air. So those are definitely involved in the first phase of this specific map. But then once the objective was captured by one of the teams, they moved into a large building, and it really became close quarters. This was known as phase 2, and then vehicles were disabled in this mode. So that means that as you progress through a map, you're going to get vehicles, have vehicles disabled, maybe get them again, maybe not. We'll have to see how that works, but I really do like this. It definitely reminds me of Overwatch in that way. They talked a bit about the classes. So the Heavy class has more health and a combat shield, which is kind of like a little deployable shield that goes around their weapon, which gives them more survivability. They talked about the Specialist class a bit and called them a Hunter, who is able to deploy traps and use a sniper. So that'll be kind of, that sort of class in this game. The Officer class can lay down turrets and give buffs to its teammates and different healing abilities. So the Officer is more of a support in this game. There's not much unique going on with the Assault class. Very basic, something you can pick up and play if you've never played Battlefront 2 before. Go and shoot guys, you know the drill. Something I found super cool is all of the different things you can buy with your battle points. Now I can't list everything off specifically, but you can buy a whole host of droids and different vehicles. There were so many vehicles shown off on this one map that I was just like, wow. I was really surprised by the variety. Battle points are also how you'll be able to use heroes. No longer will there be a random token somewhere on the map where if you happen to spawn near it or find it first, you get to be the hero. Now you have to earn it. And in the gameplay, they showed off a few heroes. Darth Maul was amazing. In 60 FPS, his lightsaber was just so silky smooth. He has a spin attack, a chokehold, and I believe a saber throw. Boba Fett returns with slightly different abilities. He has a concussion rocket, a rocket barrage, and a for the hunt ability. Not really sure what that last one is. Then, of course, Rey was there. We didn't get firsthand gameplay, I don't believe, so I didn't get a look at her abilities, but she looks very cool. She has one kind of Jedi ability where she can look through walls and detect enemies, so that looked very cool. And then a little snippet that Han Solo is returning as a hero as well. So we can expect him again, and then, of course, Yoda. We've seen him in some of the CG trailers, but no actual gameplay in this reveal at EA Play. I'm sure there was a lot more detail, but those are the things that I really picked on in the Battlefront 2 reveal. So my overall thoughts on the EA Play press conference, I thought it was exceedingly boring when they were talking about sports, and it could just be that that's not my interest. Maybe people were really excited about that, but Battlefield 1, A Way Out, Anthem even, for how little they showed was exciting for me, and then Battlefront 2. These are the things that made EA Play truly exciting for me to watch. 2 of them were new IPs, which was nice. 2 of them were, I guess you could call them established franchises, although Battlefront 1, as many people know, was not a great game. Battlefront 2 seems like a massive improvement, and with this promise of content long term, it represents another one of those live content games that are going to be updated, that people are going to be playing for several years, unless it falls flat. We'll see on that. But so far, it looks fantastic as we would expect, and from a gameplay perspective, it certainly looks improved to me. They didn't talk a whole lot about the story mode, which is a little disappointing. I'm hoping we hear more about that very soon, but they did have the actress who plays the main character on stage, and she was nice to look at as well. Let me know in the comment section below, what is the most exciting game that you saw at the EA Play press conference? Is it A Way Out, which was a surprising thing? Was it that little snippet of Anthem? Was it a sports game? Was it Battlefront 2? Let me know what you found the most exciting at this press conference in the comment section below. If you're still watching and you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook so you don't miss another video. Sign up with Juniper to receive exclusive discounts on shirts, hoodies, and more at the JV merch store. Click the link in the description below for more details. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.